All right, let's talk about building things in the cloud. But more importantly, let's talk about building them the right way. Because anyone can throw a few services together, but creating something that's truly excellent, secure, efficient, and solid, well, for that, you're going to need a blueprint.
Think about it for a second. When you look at any major construction project out there, I'm talking a huge skyscraper, a sprawling bridge, what is the one thing, the absolute non-negotiable, that they all have to have before a single piece of steel is even moved?
Exactly, a solid blueprint. Without a detailed plan, you're just asking for trouble. You're heading for chaos, blown budgets, and honestly, maybe a total collapse. And you know what? Building in the cloud is exactly the same. You need a plan. You need a framework. And that, my friends, is where this comes in, the AWS Well-Architected Framework. You can literally think of it as the master blueprint for building on AWS. It's a proven, consistent approach that AWS has built from seeing millions of architectures, and it's all designed to help you build things that are scalable, secure, and ready for anything. So if this is our master blueprint, what are its main sections? Well, it's all built on 6 foundational pillars. And these aren't just, some vague suggestions. These are the core principles that make sure whatever you're building is strong from the very foundation up. And here they are. It's not a checklist where you just pick one or two. They all work together to give you this complete 360-degree view of your architecture. You've got operational excellence, security, reliability, performance, cost, and the newest member of the family, sustainability. Let's kick things off with operational excellence. So in our blueprint analogy, this is the building's operations manual. It's all about how you run things day to day. How do you monitor your systems? How do you automate changes and respond to stuff when it happens? It's about making everything run like a well-oiled machine. Next up, an absolutely huge one, security. This is your building's security system, the locks, the alarms, the vault. This pillar is all about protecting your data and your systems. But the key thing is, security isn't something you just bolt on at the end. No way. It has to be baked in from the very, very beginning, at every single layer. Okay, now for reliability. This is the structural integrity of your building. We're talking about deep foundations, reinforced steel, and backup generators. This pillar is about making sure your application can take a punch and get right back up. It has to do its job, do it correctly, every single time, and recover from failures instantly. Pillar 4 is performance efficiency. In our building, this means no wasted space, no lights on in empty rooms. In the cloud, it's about using your computing resources as efficiently as possible. Are you using the right services for the job? Are they the right size? It's all about getting the best possible performance without any waste. Of course, we have to talk about the budget. That's where cost optimization comes in. Now, this isn't about being cheap. It's about being smart. It's about understanding exactly where your money is going, controlling those costs, and making sure you get the absolute most business value for every dollar you spend. No surprises on the bill at the end of the month. And finally, we have our 6th pillar, sustainability. This is a really important modern addition to our blueprint. Think of it as the environmental impact report. It's all about making conscious choices to minimize the environmental footprint of your workloads, making sure that what we build today is responsible for tomorrow. Okay, so these 6 pillars sound great in theory, right? But how do you actually, do it? How do you apply them? Well, the good news is AWS gives you a whole set of tools to bring this blueprint to life. First up, there's the AWS Well-Architected tool. This thing is awesome. It's basically your digital building inspector. It's a free tool right in the AWS console that asks you a bunch of questions about your workload. Based on your answers, it shows you how you stack up against the best practices and, crucially, it flags any high-risk problems you need to fix. And let's be real, you wouldn't use the same blueprint for a data center as you would for a mobile app. That's where lenses come in. These are like specialized add-ons to the main framework for specific areas like machine learning or financial services or even the games industry. They give you extra tailored advice for your unique workload. And hey, you don't have to go it alone. Sometimes you need to call in the experts, the specialists who've done this 100 times before. That's what the AWS Partner Program is for. There are hundreds of partners who have deep expertise and can help you review your architecture and put these principles into practice. So, theory is one thing, but what about the real world? Does this stuff actually make a difference for real companies? Oh yeah, you bet it does. Let's look at a couple of quick examples. Take a look at Cyber Agent.
Their senior engineer said that using the framework helped them visualize potential business risks and then successfully resolve them. So think about that. It wasn't just a plan, it was a tool that let them see problems before they happened. That's huge.
And here's another one from NEC Corporation. Their GM points out two amazing benefits. First, it helped them find and fix design issues early, which means they could deliver faster. And second, he mentions it's very useful for training engineers. So it's not just making their apps better, it's making their team better. So let's wrap this all up. What's the big takeaway here? What should you remember after all this? Really, it all comes down to one thing: confidence. The confidence to build amazing things in the cloud because you know you're following a proven plan. So why use this blueprint? Well, because you'll build and deploy faster, since you're catching problems early. You'll lower your risks because you're designing for security and reliability from day one. You'll make smarter, more informed decisions about your architecture. And honestly, it's one of the best ways to really learn and absorb AWS best practices. At the end of the day, the well-architected framework gives you the structure, the principles, and the tools you need to build with excellence. So the only question left is, now that you have the blueprint, what are you going to build?